गुड आफ्टरनून फ्रेंड्स। जीएसटी ऑन सर्विसेज की सीरीज में टुडे वी आर टेकिंग द job work services, that is the GST on job work services. This will cover in two parts. First part would cover the legal one and second one would cover the procedural part. So friends, what the job work is, let us take few illustrations. For example, giving gold or silver for the purpose of making jewelry, it's job work. Likewise, giving fabric for embroidery or stitching, or giving rice, wheat or cereals for de-husking or unshelling or the processing, it's job work. Printing of books and newspaper where paper is supplied by the customer. Likewise, giving of steel sheets and return of steel circles, galvanizing of the pipes, and there are hundreds of activities which may be termed as a job work where raw material and semi-finished goods are given for the purpose of further treatment or processing. So before going into further details, let us look at the definition of the term job work under the GST. As per section 2 subsection 68 of the GST Act, the term job work means undertaking any treatment or process by a person on goods belonging to another registered person. Friends, here two terms are very important. First one is the treatment of process and the second one is goods belonging to other person, other registered person. So what is not the job work for the purpose of GST? Where there is no treatment or process, that is not the job work. Where goods belong to unregistered person, it is not the job work. Where the job worker is performing services not on the goods belonging to others but on his own goods, that is not a job work. So these three cases are not the job work. So we will take one by one. First, what is the meaning of the processing or treatment? So friends, these are very important terms. Processing generally means subjecting a commodity to a process or treatment so as to develop or make it fit for the market. Friends, please note that there is a difference between the job work and contract manufacturing. We'll discuss a little later. Similarly, there is also a difference between job work and the services simpliciter. Supposing I ask my painter to paint my furniture with or without paint. This is not a job work, this is the painting service. So every activity is not a job work. Here we have to be very clear that there must be treatment or process. Then next to the registered person. Then what is the significance of the registered person? Sir, registered person is very significant for the purpose of job work. If the principal is not a registered person, then that activity would not be treated as a job work for the purpose of GST. Here it is to be noted that principal should be a registered person. It is not necessary the job work is also registered. He may be unregistered person. Friends, let us take the illustration in this regard. Supposing my dear friend Ms. Sushil Verma, advocate, goes to a jewelry shop with his gold and ask him to make some jewelry. Now this transaction takes place between Sushil Verma and the registered jeweler. But since Sushil Verma, who is the principal, is unregistered, therefore this first leg would not be treated as a job work. Continuing further, supposing that small jewelry shop jeweler goes to a big jeweler for the purpose of making that ornament. In this case, since who is the principal? Principal is the small jeweler, and where he goes to another jeweler shop for the purpose of making the jewelry. In this case, this transaction, since the principal is a registered one, the second leg of the transaction would be treated as a job work. So there is rate difference, we'll discuss a little later. So registration is very important for the purpose of job work. Friends, all the job work and manufacturing activities have been specified under entry numbers 26 and 27, notification number 11 by 2017. In this regard, entry number 26 is HSN 9988, which deals with manufacturing services of physical goods or inputs owned by the other. So the 9988 and the entry 26 by itself has used the word manufacturing services on goods owned by the others. So job work is basically a part of the manufacturing services. Job work is the transaction where the principal is registered, and if he is not registered, that is, it is simply manufacturing activities. Let us look into the rates of tax where we find that there is a huge difference between the registered and unregistered person, and job work and other manufacturing activity. Textile and textile products falling into chapter 50 to 63. For registered, it is 5%, URD for 18. All products falling under chapter 71, that is jewelry, 5 and 18. Diamonds falling under chapter 71, 1.5 and 18. Manufacturing of the leather goods or footwear, 5 and 18. All food and food products falling under chapter 1 to 23, 5 and 18. Manufacture of handicraft, 5 for the RD and 18 for the URD. Manufacturing of the umbrella, 12 and 18. So friends, we have seen that there is a big gap between the job work and other manufacturing activities. Therefore, first we have to ascertain for whom we are carrying on the activity. So job work under the GST is not merely the treatment and process, but also it is a person driven and the registration of the principal driven. If the principal is registered, then only it is a job work. Friends, next question would arise whether job work includes the repair. Let us take the illustration. Supposing I go to some repair shop for the repair of my laptop. I am registered. Now, whether that repairing activity would be considered as job work. If it is job work, then the rate of tax would be different. If it is job work, then certainly the compliances which have been specified under section 143 subsection 1 have been different. Therefore, first we have to ascertain whether the repair activity is a job work or not. Here we can take the assistance of the advance ruling by the AAR West Bengal in the case of Alok Bhanuka, where they have drawn a fine distinction between the job work and the repairing activities. Here the advance ruling authorities stated that job work is a processing or working upon the goods supplied to the job worker which resulted in manufacturing or finishing of an article, whereas in the case of servicing service activity, here the service provider work upon the goods already in existence. So the advance ruling authority has to make a distinction based upon whenever some new product or new goods emerges, then that is a job work. If that is not the case, and if it is a treatment or process only of the existing product, then that would not be considered as a job work. So friends, we have to be very, very careful because the rate of tax and compliances are different in both the cases. Next question would arise that whether job worker can use his own goods during the process. Friends, we are aware that job work is generally a composite supply where the service is the principal supply. No job work can take place without the use of some goods. So far as capital goods are concerned, job work would certainly use its own tool, capital goods, equipments, there is no bar. But we are discussing only in respect of the inputs. So what would be the percentage of the input? Will it be 1%, 2% or 50%? We may take hundreds of illustrations. For example, fabricator may use the thread. Likewise, printer of the books may use the ink. Jeweler may use the impurities. So everywhere we found that job worker would use one or two goods for the purpose of performing his services. It is very rarely happen that all the goods are supplied by the principal itself. Even in the case of bleaching process, some chemicals are involved. So therefore, we have to find out whether job worker can use his own goods. So far as if we go to the definition of the job work in section 2 subsection 68, it is very, very clear that they have stated that a job worker perform the services on the goods belonging to the other person. Here he is performing partly on his own goods and partly on the goods provided by the principal. We may take the assistance in this regard in circular number 38 dated 26 March 2018 and advance ruling in the case of iron rubber. In both the cases, they have stated that the job worker may use his own goods as well besides the goods of the principal. So friends, now we have agreed that he may use his own goods, but what can he use? Any amount of, can he use his 30%, 40%, 50%? Any amount of the goods he can be used by him. Friends, in that case, answer would be no, because In that case, the basic purpose of the definition of job work would fail, which says that goods belonging to the other person. In this regard, one of the advanced ruling in the case of Heikel technology has also came, where the job worker was using part of the goods belonging to the principal and part of the goods belonging to himself. In that case, the authority held that entire activity to be treated as manufacturing services because physical inputs are owned by others as well besides the principal. Here, the advanced ruling authority clearly stated that the job work would not be there in this case. Thus, friends, just to conclude, that we may conclude that if the material used by the job worker is incidental in nature, in that case, it will still be treated as job work. But where the material used by the job worker are beyond the incidental nature, then in that case, it would not be considered as a job work. Similarly, one more question arises. Can the job worker use his own packing material? Supposing I have given certain rice for the purpose of packing, and I ask the job worker to return the rice into the gunny bags. In this regard, again, we have seen that it is a composite supply where the principal supply is the service and the incidental supply is the supply of gunny bags. In that case, in our view, it would still be treated as job work even if some packing material is also provided by the job worker. We may take help of advanced ruling by the West Bengal authorities in the case of Sakshi Jajaria on 10th February 2020, where the same thing was held by the authority. Next question would arise whether transfer of materials such as paper, fabric or gold by the principal to the job worker is टैक्सेबल सप्लाई, कि जो जॉब वर्कर को जितना भी पेपर जा रहा है, मटेरियल जा रहा है, ये पेपर ट्रांसफर ऑफ द मटेरियल इटसेल्फ फ्रॉम द प्रिंसिपल टू द जॉब वर्कर इज ए सप्लाई और नॉट. फ्रेंड्स, आफ्टर द अमेंडमेंट ऑफ द डेफिनेशन ऑफ द टर्म सप्लाई with effect from 1st February 2019, where they have delinked the scheduled 2 items from the definition of the term supply. Therefore, it would not be treated as a supply at the time of dispatch. 143 subsection 1 also states that the registered person may transfer the goods to the job worker without payment of tax. But it would be treated as a supply if the goods are not returned within the stipulated period. In that case, if the goods are not returned within the stipulated period, that is the inputs 1 year and capital goods 3 years, then it would be deemed as supply in terms of section 143 subsection 3 and section 19 subsection 3, where it has been stated that it would be deemed as supply on the date when goods were originally dispatched to the job worker. In that case, the liability of interest would also arise. We'll discuss a little later. So friends, next and important part is valuation. Before valuation, let me go into that. Is there any difference between the job work and contract manufacturing? Yes, friends. Job work and contract manufacturing are two different terms. In the contract manufacturing, generally the job worker uses part of his own material and part of the principal's. The job worker may have his own installed plant and machinery, use the same for the manufacturing of the various customers. After manufacturing, goods are supplied to the principal as a finished product. There are a number of cases where this contract manufacturing takes place, such as breweries, soft drink bottling plants, food processing, soap and detergents, etc. So friends, these are two different terms. We'll discuss later the impacts on these two. Then next question, what is the valuation between the transaction between the job worker and the principal? So friends, let us take a case that, for example, a rice miller, while processing the rice, in terms of the contract with the principal, keeps husk and bran with him. दैट इज कि प्रिंसिपल साहब जो राइस 1000 टन भेजते हैं जॉब वर्कर को, उनसे कहते हैं कि आपको से 1 लाख रुपए तो मिलेंगे, जॉब वर्क चार्जेस मिलेंगे, प्लस हस्क और ब्रान दोनों के दोनों आप अपने पास रख लीजिए. हस्क 0% पे टैक्सेबल है, ब्रान 5% पे टैक्सेबल है. अब इस केस में क्वेश्चन ये उठता है कि जॉब वर्कर को जो जीएसटी पे करना है किस वैल्यू पे करना है, 1 लाख रुपए पे या किसी ज़्यादा पे। फ्रेंड्स, in that case the value of service will not be merely 1 lakh rupees, but it will also include the value of husk and bran kept by the जॉब वर्कर। तो उसकी जब हम ट्रांजैक्शन वैल्यू निकालेंगे, बिकॉज जीएसटी इज टू बी लेविड ऑन द ट्रांजैक्शन वैल्यू, द ट्रांजैक्शन वैल्यू मे बी इन मॉनेटरी और नॉन मॉनेटरी। तो यहाँ पर जो मॉनेटरी कंसिडरेशन ऑफ 1 लाख रुपए आएगा, प्लस हस की वैल्यू आएगी, प्लस ब्रांड की वैल्यू आएगी, इन तीनों को ऐड करके जो भी फिगर निकलेगी उस पर जॉब वर्कर साहब जीएसटी लगाएंगे, जो भी रेट होगा 5% या 12%, जो भी रेट होगा, इस केस में 5% होगा तो 5% का टैक्स लगाएंगे। इसके साथ एक दूसरा क्वेश्चन अराइज होता है कि यहाँ पर प्रिंसिपल की क्या लायबिलिटी है। फ्रेंड्स, जो एंटायर पैडी थी दैट बिलोंग्स टू द प्रिंसिपल। नाउ ही सेज एज पर द टर्म्स दैट हस्क एंड ब्रान विच इज पार्ट ऑफ द पैडी इटसेल्फ इज टू बी केप्ट बाय द जॉब वर्कर। इन दैट केस principal has to raise invoice of husk and bran, and since the bran is taxable at 5%, the principal will charge GST on taxable bran. So far as the job worker is concerned, tax element will be neutralized to that extent, because जो ब्रांड पे वो टैक्स पे करेंगे उसके बाद जब आगे बेचेंगे ब्रांड को वो उस समय न्यूट्रलाइज कर जाएगा। एक और केस ले लेते हैं फ्रेंड्स, इसी को एक केस स्टडी और ले लेते हैं कि सपोजिंग ए पब्लिशर who is publishing the books sends paper for printing of the books. He left the cutting with the job work, which is later on sold by the job worker in kilos. What would happen in this case? In this case, the publisher is giving the printing charges, plus he is also leaving some left outs in the shape of paper cuttings. This is a taxable supply. We all are aware that it is taxable 5%. Therefore, in this case, the value of job work would include the monetary value plus the value of the cuttings which has been left. Further, publisher would also raise invoice for sale of paper scrap charging GST, whatever rate may be. So again, we have said that job worker, it will be neutralized, the input output, because whatever tax is being charged by the publisher would ultimately be eligible to the job worker as input tax credit at the time of sale of paper of scrap. So friends, we have seen that we have to be very, very careful in this regard that sale price is inclusive of monetary as well as non-monetary consideration. In this, to that extent, we may say in both the cases that supply of husk and bran or paper in the second case against the service charges is being treated as a barter transaction against the supply of the services by the job worker. We may take the assistance of the advance ruling authority, appellate advance ruling authority rather, by the Karnataka authorities in the case of Shri Kanak Durga rice and flour mills, and also two Supreme Court judgment under the excise regime. In this case also, in the case of General Engineering Works and Lloyd Steel Industries Limited. In the Lloyd Steel, the Supreme Court held that cost of waste or scrap shall be included in the value of goods manufactured by the job worker. Whenever the conversion charges get reduced by the cost of wastage and scrap, the Supreme Court held that it would be included in the value of goods so manufactured. Similarly, friends, we are discussing the valuation part. Let us take 1, 2 or 3 illustration more. That supposing dies and molds are supplied by the principal to the job worker for the purpose of making the auto parts, and these dies and mold are supplied free of cost. If friends, if the molds and dies are supplied free of cost, in that case it will not be taxable. It has also been clarified in circular number 47 by 2018 dated 8th June 2018. इसी में तरह से एक और भी केस हो सकते हैं जहाँ पर प्रिंसिपल जॉब वर्कर को कहते हैं कि डाई एंड मोल्ड्स आप अपने आप से डेवलप करिए और जो भी उसका प्राइस है वो हमसे आप रिकवर कर लीजिए। यहाँ पर जॉब वर्कर एक मोल्ड एंड डाई डेवलप करते हैं, मान लीजिए उसकी प्राइस है 5 लाख रुपए, वो 5 लाख रुपए अपने प्रिंसिपल से रिकवर कर लेते हैं। तो फ्रेंड्स, टू द एक्सटेंट ऑफ developing and supply of the molds and dies to the principal, it will be a separate transaction which would be taxable. And job work in respect of the auto part will be separate transaction where the job worker would charge the GST as a job work charges. एक और केस ले लेते हैं इसी तरह का कि if the dies or molds are developed by the job worker for on behalf I'm repeating, if the dies and molds are developed by the job worker for his own behalf, in that case he is not taking any consideration from the principal. In that case, since we have already seen that he may use capital goods, he may use the tools, dies, molds, etc. It is not taxable, and only the job charges which are charged by the job worker is taxable in this case. So friends, for this part 1 we are concluding here. In the second part we will discuss again very relevant questions, that what is the difference between the job work and contract manufacturing, facilities available to the principal under section 143, whether principal is liable to pay tax on issue of the material, what is the significance of filing ITC 04, reconciliation of the goods sent and goods received. This is very important, friends. Then what would happen for the goods consumed or destroyed at the job worker level, need for well drafted contracts to cover all the situation, special provisions for the e-way bill in the case of job work, and documents required for the purpose of movement of the goods. These all will discuss in the second part of the GST on job work. So friends, we conclude here. Most of the part we have discussed and deliberated today has been taken from our book Handbook GST, which has been authored by me and my brother C.A. Sandeep Garg. I am thankful to Mr. Sushil Verma, advocate, for suggesting various questions and providing his valuable inputs. Friends, you may also visit my YouTube channel and Facebook for referring my earlier videos whenever so required. So with this, I like to thank you. Thanks everyone for your participation. Thanks friends. Be healthy, be safe. Thank you.